I now call upon stage Mr. Subroto Bhattacharya, who is the Senior VP at Univariety.
So, what I'm going to talk about is unlocking the alumni success, and what we're talking all this while is about books, schools, and there is something which is beyond books and the learning that we do, is how do we basically connect our children with the future world, which is important because these children from your schools will be one day going out for a career, and that's very, very important. So as an organization, we are a career guidance system that we have, which is inclusive of the alumni connect that we have, which is a very integral part of what we do. So I would like to first talk about the 4 pillars that we are based on. And though here you can see 5, but it's all basically conglomerated. The first 2 are being conglomerated into one, which is a psychometric assessment and the research tools, which forms the part of our first perspective or the pillar that we call. Then we have this what we call is the counseling, which is followed by, so after the children have done their assessment and we understand that where they belong to, we have a counseling department which basically serves out and reaches out to the children and for giving them the right advice and all that. And the third part which I'm going to talk today is the alumni, which forms the most integral part of the entire system, is the alumni connect that we do, and then our connect with the universities which we have. The entire journey is split into milestone because it's kind of a buffet that we generally enter into, and for a child or for a stakeholder, we generally do not know where to start with. So it's basically calendarized and it is integrated as a part of the school system. I'm going a little fast because I'm going to come on to the alumni guidance system that we have. So, as I've already spoken about that, schools is all beyond. I mean, you are educationist, you're running your schools, or you are principals of schools, or some key influencers who are there, and you know that schools is all beyond books. And what we have to go and reach out for the child to connect them for the future. And I heard Miss Sunita Nambia ma'am talking about how there's a disconnect between the industry in terms of students who are passing out from the colleges, and when they're reaching, the skill set is not quietly developed. So how we can use alumni, which is the wealth we talk about. So the real wealth or the real gold in the organization or in a school is basically your alumni. How we can utilize the alumni is what we're going to talk about. So this is the first case. We're talking about a student called Ishan, who is from a CBSE school. He scored around 96% in his 12th. And he went into IIT training and then ultimately could not clear the G examination, right? And so basically how this helps is that for a child like him, he did not have a guidance system which could have guided, and he could only drop the year and appear again next year to appear again for the IITG examination, which was for him a drop year, and that's how the trend is today. But if there had been somebody who could have guided him, because he had put all the eggs in one basket and he did not have any alternative for the first year so that he could have gone. But ultimately, good that next year he applied to few colleges more and he ultimately got into VIT. So this is the story of Ishan. We have more stories. I would want to discuss about Pallavi, who got a scholarship of $132,000, and she got into US, a college in US. Now, what she did not realize that there are implicit costs to going out and studying overseas. Scholarship means even if you get 100% scholarship, does not mean that you get everything free there, right? So she realized this. Sorry. Yeah. So she realized it after. Again, this is a similar and a classic case of putting all eggs into one basket. That's what we see. And so the next year, she kind of applied for colleges, and then she could get, because her parents could not, or as a family, they could not afford that 10 lakh rupees extra implicit cost or the ancillary cost that was coming onto them. I would like to kind of show you one video of a child called Diksha, who took dual course, and how she integrated her hobbies into what she did is an interesting part that I would like to show you. So can I please just a moment. Can I have the AV, please?
Being that, it requires constant pure academic involvement, which is not true. As long, like I said earlier, if you're able to understand the concept of things, it's enough to get you cracking in these courses, as long as you invest the right amount of time to really understand what the subject is trying to teach you. And again, both law and psychology require your authorities to be stated, which is that this case said this, and this is in the common law saying this. When it comes to law, you usually have open book exams, so if you know your concept, you can apply them very clearly. When it comes to psychological science, you need to know your cases, and I'm fine with doing that really. The only myth that I personally broke for myself was that I still allocate just as much time for dancing. In fact, now I also act and I also model, so I give a lot of time to my professional work in these arenas, as well as music as one of my careers, and I also have a thriving social life. So the myth really is that you need to only be focused in academics, and that's completely untrue. Like I said, the trends to watch out for are definitely alternate forms of therapy in psychology, and when it comes to law, they're really looking at people who can bring new ways of thinking. They want you to be able to think in new ways, and they're very keen to have a lot of new lawyers coming up, fresh talent coming up. There are too many branches really to talk about. Psychological science has clinical psychology, it has criminology, it has psychiatry. Psychiatry is when you prescribe medicine. Psychology is where you research. When it comes to law, you have tort law, you have contracts law. Tort law is civil wrongdoings. Contracts is to do with any form of contracts. You have business law, you have psychology in law, you have journalism in law. Pretty much psychology and law, I believe, are subjects that touch upon every aspect of our lives. So really it's about finding what combination really interests you and what you really want to pursue. I believe that if you want to pursue these, you should really focus on English language and literature. You should really focus on biology. You should focus on chemistry.
So I'm just kind of cutting this short. It's a short video though, but I just wanted to kind of give you a glimpse about how these videos on Alumni will help the current students who are already studying in your school connect back to what they would want to go for, right? So we do this through a lot of things like webinars, which are even kind of done by students as well as our counselors who do these webinars to connect with the children for their appropriateness. Now, very quickly, I would like to kind of run you through if you could see that, as a system that we develop in terms of career guidance, the student or the parent can search through a country, a city, or a course or a college in specific, right, and can reach out to the child. So, for example, I am a child, right, in a school, and I would like to pursue something in medicine in US, right? So I will do that and see that who all in my school have gone there, and I can kind of interact with them. Now, why we say this alumni interaction is important and very critical and crucial is because, see, all that you do in the school is about books, again I said, about teaching, about teachers who are interactions, who are a very, very important part, but who can give you a better suggestion than somebody who has lived up to that experience, that journey of, when I went or I applied for doing engineering, I went through these. So, like we have heard and we generally hear out, that we always talk about successes which has happened. We never talk about misses or something which is what we call is hidden facts. Right? So we take out these hidden facts from the children, we take out and implement this or showcase it to the students who have to kind of experience this in their life, and they get it like that. So that's what it is, very quickly. And then after selecting, you get into the specifics. So, you will get through, these were the students, who are doing medicine from your school in this place in specific, right? Then you go deeper. Okay, fine example. So you go deeper and say that, okay, current student journey, I want to see, say Utkarsh, I'm taking Utkarsh's name here. So Utkarsh has done or doing medicine or has done medicine. What is his journey? Where did he all apply? So I'll go like this, So here is a case of a girl here who has joined the college Parson, the new college for design. But, her academic, details, what is the scholarship that she has got, and then what is the marks that she has got is also there. You can see, subject-wise scores and all, and where all she had applied in terms of the colleges and what was her success rate is that I can get. And then I can get into a conversation with that particular student or my senior. So I'll call her my senior, and that's what the thing is all about in terms of the career guidance that we give you. So that's one part, which is an alumni connect that we are talking about, which is very, very important and integral here. But how do you connect your alumni? I mean, why would he do so, right? So there's something to get him started. It has to be nostalgia. So, the love for your school is always there. I'm sure that none of us will ever say that I don't like my school. I mean, there'll be very few. I mean, there could be reasons for you to say that, but overall you would always like and would like to go back to your school someday, right? School is something which is very, very close to your heart. And that's where you bring him out. But how do you keep that alumni engaged is through the webinars, the videos. You give him recognition or her a recognition. You invite him to be a part of an internship program. So you can do the either way around. I mean, you can utilize your alumni as a part of your students going and doing internships with them if they have crossed their college life and doing something good in their life, or the elsewhere. You can start doing some courses in the school. Invite that, okay, fine, you have been a part of my school or our school, and this is a course that we're going to do for you. There's a 30% or a 40% discount. You promote him doing that. And that's what the connect is all about. Because once the child has gone away from the school, I don't know, there are some schools which really do it. I will not say that none of us don't do it. But majority of the schools don't get connected to the alumni. We are not using this potential, this potent part back in our schools. That's one gold thing that we have for ourselves. And so these are some of our partner schools that we are worked with and working with currently. We have almost like 350 plus top schools that we work with in terms of the alumni guidance system that we have, and it's all tech driven. So one thing that I feel, have spent around 15 years in education industry, working with varied companies and working with schools very, very closely. And I feel that quality of the education institutions in the coming time will be judged by the alumni. So, a school, I can talk about something like Harvard. We know about Harvard, we know about Oxford, we know about NUS, we know about IITs. Why do we know this institution? Not because by the number of rooms or computers or building or the acres of the land they have. It is because of the alumni we know it. It has trickled down even down below to the level of schools like St. Paul's, Mayos of the world, Dehradun School. I'm from Dehradun, so I can say that with great pride. So so they're known because of their alumni, and that's the strong point that they have. And so I would like to kind of end my talk here by stating that alumni is a very, very important part of our system, and we must kind of think of using it back, and there are ways and means why we can do that. And thank you so much.